Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing when does a dumper come back? I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing when does a dumper come back? So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, the obvious question on your mind is when does a dumper come back? Is there a definitive way of trying to get your ex back and being successful? Well, in today's podcast, I'm going to be explaining the 3 likely stages that a dumper will need to go through for them to want to reconnect with their ex and build a new relationship on stronger foundations. It's important for me to say that unfortunately, there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. There is nothing that works 100% of the time, and nothing fails 100% of the time. But there are certain things that you can do to increase your chance of success. And in today's podcast, I will be going through the 3 stages that a dumper will need to go through to reconsider their decision and want to reconnect with their ex. And hence you will be able to see as a dumpee what you need to do to try and increase your chance of one day reconnecting. So let's get straight into this. And number 1 for the question of when does a dumper come back is growth in romantic emotional attraction. So when 2 people are in a relationship, they are both feeling a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. Now, for various potential reasons, this level of attraction has dropped. And when it hit a certain low point, this is when the dumper would have ended the relationship. So at the time of the breakup, the dumper is feeling a very low level of romantic emotional attraction for their now former partner. So if a dumpee wants to try to get their ex back, what they need to understand is that the first step is for their ex, the dumper, to have regrown a level of romantic emotional attraction. This level of attraction needs to hit a certain high point for the dumper to want to reach out to their ex and see how things develop from that stage. So as a dumpee, when you've been dumped, when you're going through the grind, when you're feeling all of these negative feelings, all of this sadness, upset, when you're thinking that you don't know what to do, the first thing you need to realise is that you need to regrow that level of romantic emotional attraction in your former partner's mind. But how can you do that from the position of being dumped? Well, the first thing you need to do is not make things worse. So your dumper, as I have said, is now feeling a very low level of romantic emotional attraction for you. But there is still some attraction left. It might be very minimal, but there is still some left. What you need to do as a dumpee is not make further mistakes to completely extinguish the remaining romantic emotional attraction. Instead, you need to be trying to regrow this level as high as you can. And you can do this best by implementing my version of the no contact rule. So the no contact rule, if you're not aware, is something that lots of people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back. However, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. So I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out my playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. This will help you fully immerse yourself in my version of the rule and help you understand why I believe it will give you the best possible chance of success by growing romantic emotional attraction in your dumper's mind. Now, we have to say, there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, and not every dumpee will be able to grow enough romantic emotional attraction in their former partner's mind. If a dumper doesn't feel enough romantic emotional attraction, they will not reach out to their dumpee. And sadly, this is sometimes the case. We have to be honest, we have to be genuine. Not every dumpee will get their ex back. Not every dumper will change their mind. But if you're in this position, if you're a dumpee and you are unable to get your ex back, please don't be fearful. Don't be frightened. Understand that if you do everything right, you can increase your level of attraction, not just to your ex, but to everyone. And if you do the right things, then you will get the right things back. If you move forward with positivity, then you will likely live a more positive life. And you can do things to increase your chance of finding somebody even better than your ex. So yes, you're in a position where you want to try to get your ex back. But if you don't, please don't be scared, because you can find somebody even better. Again, if you want to learn more about attraction in this instance, please check out my YouTube channel. I have a playlist on this very topic. You can attract somebody even better than your ex. Please never believe that your ex is the pinnacle of the type of person that you can attract. You can always find better, and if you do enough of the right things, then the right things will likely come to you. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast, about when does a dumper come back. And point number 2 is successful communication stage. So if and when a dumper regrows enough romantic emotional attraction for their dumpee, then they will likely reach out to their ex. At this stage, we are now entering a new part of the journey of trying to get your ex back, entitled the communication stage. So at this point in time, the dumpee needs to make sure that they navigate the communication stage successfully. Although, this is something that the dumpee needs to be considering as well. This isn't just about the dumpee trying to make sure that the dumper is enjoying the conversation. The dumpee needs to make sure that they are feeling the same way as well. Sometimes a dumper will contact their dumpee, and the dumpee's not feeling it anymore from the vibe of the messages they receive. And hence the dumpee needs to make sure that this is right for them, not just right for their ex. However, whatever the situation you come into, this is where you need to navigate the communication stage properly and successfully. I've gone in detail explaining what I believe you need to do to get through this stage as best as possible. Check out my channel, check out the podcasts on those particular subjects. But for now, what we are just trying to get across is that success during this stage is crucial for if and when a dumper will come back. Yes, they've grown enough romantic emotional attraction to reach out to their former partner, but if the communication stage goes badly, then the dumper is going to run a mile. They are not going to want to stick around. So sometimes dumpees get this wrong. Sometimes dumpees think, my ex has contacted me, this is time for celebration, I've got my ex back. That is not the case. Yes, you have reached a milestone. Yes, it's wonderful news. Yes, it's very exciting that you've heard from your dumper, but the job isn't done. You have not achieved your goal. This is not finished. You need to be making sure that by the end of the communication stage, things are looking even more positive. You can never stagnate. If you stagnate, if you stand still, then in essence, in my belief, you are going backwards. Everything needs to be pushed forward. And one of the biggest problems dumpees have during the communication stage is they let things stagnate. You do not want to be doing this. You need to be pushing things forward in an appropriate way, in a way that doesn't feel like you're giving ultimatums, but in a sense, you're pushing things in the right direction. Again, I've gone in detail in this in another podcast, so I'm just skimming over it for now, but it's really important to understand that if and when you hear from your dumper, the job is not done. You need to navigate the communication stage, and you need to take things further where we move into point number 3. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about when does a dumper come back. And point number 3 is romantic feelings during meet. So you will know if you have had a successful communication stage because you would have arranged to meet. If you arranged to meet and you meet successfully, then this means that point number 2 has been navigated successfully. But now you're in point number 3, and the most crucial point of all. You have met, you are meeting, and now this is the moment where you need to fully understand the vibe. What is your vibe? What is your ex's vibe? Now, I don't suggest you call this a date unless your ex does. Don't really give it a label, just call it a meet. But if and when you meet up, this is when you need to be looking your best, smelling your best, being your best. If you don't treat this the best you can, then you will be unlikely to see your ex again. But please make sure that you are feeling the vibe for your ex as well. If you make all of this effort and you don't really think your ex has, this isn't something that you need to be really chasing. Remember yourself, remember your value, remember what I said earlier. You can find people better than your ex. This is not the be all and end all. So if you meet your ex and you don't really think they are as good as you remember, then why stick around? You know, you shouldn't be somebody who has to put up with an ex just because you have been dumped. So remember, this is about you, not just about them. But to give yourself the best possible chance of successfully moving through this meet is that you need to make sure you look your best, you smell your best, and you are your best. Don't give off any negativity. Be happy, carefree, and fun. You need to be having the goal of trying to have another meet. The aim of the first meet is to have a second meet. It doesn't mean you've got to be intimate or anything on the first meet, but there has to be some type of romantic vibe that you are both feeling. Because if one of you has romantic vibes and one of you has platonic vibes, this will not work long term. You can't be friend zoned by somebody that you have romantic feelings for, because you will get hurt. So you will be able to see how this is going. You will be able to feel what the situation is like. And after the meet, you will likely have some type of text debrief to really showcase your feelings and your ex's feelings about whether or not you want to see each other again. But if romantic feelings during the meet are felt by both people, then this is when a dumper will come back. But only if you want them back at this stage as well. Because like I said, it's about you. It's not just about them. So when people ask me, when does a dumper come back? Well, firstly, they need to grow romantic emotional attraction. Secondly, the communication stage needs to go well. It needs to be successfully navigated. And thirdly, there needs to be romantic feelings felt during the meet, which would have been planned during the communication stage. If all of this happens, then you are on the right path, you're on the right journey to reconnect, to build a new relationship built on stronger foundations, and that is when a dumper will come back. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.